Lady Darklaw, will you please tell the court exactly what you mean when you say shade?
Yes, of course. I grow weary of standing behind this bench. I will tell you all I can. What the heck is she trying to pull? Why testify about something that could potentially undermine your credibility?
I don't understand.
Shades. Shades live outside the realm of those who dwell within Labyrinthia. To them, I am known as the Great Witch.
50 Shades of Grey Worm, by the way. I came up with that. I'm so clever. No one else said that.
Yeah, you should write books.
Shut up.
Those that are put to flames in the witch trials become shades who live their lives in the woods. We exist to carry out tasks given to us by our mistress, the Great Witch herself. I am not a witch, nor am I a wandering spirit.
I don't...
What on earth? Hi, Inquisitor Darklaw. Do you mean to say that you are not only are you a witch, but that you're the Great Witch? Unbelievable! Lady Darklaw is the Great Witch!
The Great Witch? Doesn't that mean she's Bazella?
That's right. Lady Darklaw is Bazella.
I do hope you have not forgotten what we established only moments ago. It is not possible for Miss Darklaw to be Bazella.
But Inquisitor Layton, surely the testimony just now proves it.
I am afraid that in the heat of such revelations, you have all misheard the information. 'Tis pointless. This is the extent of what the people of this town will believe. I believe the truth will become clear during our cross-examination. Don't you agree, Mr. Wright?
Defender, you may begin your interrogation.
I don't even know what we're interrogating her over.
Shades live outside the realm of those dwelt in Labyrinthia. Okay.
Hold it!
You the Great Witch. You the Great Witch. Just you. You say that. You say that to you. You the Great Witch. Yes, that's right. However, I am not Bazella. The mistress of those who dwell in the Eldritch Woods is dubbed the Great Witch.
Oh god. you the Great Witch. You said
Even if I wanted to be Bazella, I couldn't, as the ever so charming Inquisitor stated earlier. I cannot use magic.
Oh, she's hitting on Layton over there.
Miss Darklaw, I have one question. What do you mean by live outside the realm? I mean just that, Inquisitor. We truly do live in a realm separate from this town. Do you think this might not actually be Professor Layton?
No, I think that he's here to actually do what he said, which is prove who the real witch is, and I believe it's not Darklaw. And I think it might be Espella, or he just wants us to really prove him wrong, you know, like he knows.
But I'm wondering if the reason Luke isn't here is because there isn't a Luke. Because Luke is with the real professor.
No, this is the real Layton.
Okay, alright, okay. Now, surely one as intelligent as yourself has worked out the answer by now. Perhaps that remains to be seen, Miss Darklaw. Regardless, 'tis something we cannot discuss with anyone, but it is something that the defense should be able to prove. What? That almost sounds like a challenge. By the way, Miss Darklaw, since you're not actually a witch, why do you continue to be called that? To answer that, I must first discuss the true identity of the Shades. Those that are put to the flames in the witch trials become Shades who live their lives in the woods.
Hold it!
So you're saying that the Kira here right now is a shade version of the Kira from before. Indeed, Defender. The girl has no recollection of her life prior to living in those woods.
What manner of witchery is this? Why, this girl, Kira, the flower seller, was cast straight to the flames before our very eyes.
That's right, Your Honor. But as you can see, she didn't die. You see, there's actually a trick to the incineration device in the witch's court.
A trick?
Are we finally going to reveal Maya? Once the bird has been delivered, the court attendants move the steel cage into position, after which it seals shut.
Yep, remember all that. Real fiery, real
Pretty
hot.
scary looking.
Yep.
Then the cage is dropped down into a pit of fire. The bottom of the cage then opens, allowing the witch inside to escape unharmed into an underground passage.
If what you're saying is true, Defender, then what of this town's witch-purging history? What has been the purpose of all this? What has been the purpose to my life?
You and the knights have indeed been ridding Labyrinthia of witches. However, nary a single life has been taken in the process. That is the reality.
We put him to work elsewhere.
In the salt mines. Where you get all your delicious salt.
But, oh, I do love the salt. You cannot truly expect me to believe such a ridiculous notion.
Your Honor, it's true!
It's Maya. Yeah.
Take a good hard look. It doesn't get any more alive than this. Feast your eyes on these puppies.
I'm alive!
Who are you?
I am May.
I am May.
Is that,
I am May, that's her name.
is that what he guessed?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, actually, it's Maya Fey, your forgetfulness. What the heck are you doing? Everyone's gonna recognize you. Yeah, but seeing is believing, Nick. Now they have to believe you.
Fair. That's fair.
Do you see? Are you satisfied? Are you not entertained? All those found guilty in the witch trials lose their names, magic, and memory. They are then sent to spend their lives as shades in the Eldritch Woods. And the mistress of those shades is the Great Witch. As you can see, this girl, too, has become a shade.
I have no more words to express my utter disbelief in the situation. I don't believe you.
That's enough. Shall we return to the testimony?
Yeah.
Why do I have the feeling things are gonna get a lot worse? We exist to carry out the task given to us by our mistress, the Great Witch herself.
Tell us some more.
Hold it!
What do you do? These tasks you mentioned, were you acting on them this evening? Yes, I was told here to come here and become Bezella.
Wait, just a moment, witness. Did you say become Bezella?
Yeah, if you eat the previous Bezella, you become Bezella.
Oh.
Or if you kill her, it's like in the Santa Claus, where like you find the card and then you grow a beard. My, how absolutely dreadful.
Why would anyone be given such a terrible task? Where have the shades come from? Order!
I'm sorry. I don't know why I was given such a task. All I can do is follow the orders I am given. If I can do that, then I can return. Well, what do you mean? You can return? Such is the nature of the shades. Neither human nor witch, theirs is an existence spent in the shadows. Each of the shades is given specific tasks. Then, upon successfully completing such tasks, they are allowed to return to Labyrinthia as brand new people.
But Lady Darklaw, how can they return as brand new citizens? Pretty sure I would remember them. I have a very good memory. When we already know who they were. For instance, we all recognize the former flower seller standing before us.
Now that my lord remains a secret, but a secret you will come to understand sooner rather than later.
This is simply baffling.
The one who gives us our task is the Great Witch. That would be you, Lady Darklaw. Oh, magnificent one.
Oh, lovely Lady Darklaw, who I worship. Please don't hurt me. Don't slap
While
me.
this explanation is wrought with much I cannot comprehend, I request the witnesses added to their testimony.
Okay.
Alright.
Yeah, no, I do it. Lady Darklaw was our venerable mistress. She assigned us our tasks. She was the Great Witch.
I press you again.
Yeah.
I press you into a waffle.
So about these tasks, can you give us any other examples? A shade's task must never be discussed with others, no matter what. She says that even though she just finished telling us all about her secret task. Incidentally, do you perhaps remember when you arrived back in town to carry out your orders? Well, not really. My memory is still a little fuzzy. Say, didn't Kira only just recently become one of those shade thingies? Still, I failed in my task tonight. Come to think of it, when Luke and I had our little run-in with Kira, I remember being blown clear across the marketplace.
Yeah, it was pretty.
But I never saw any explosives or gunpowder. Maybe. Kira was given the task of blowing you to smithereens, Nick.
How nice.
And we're done. Getting back to this testimony. I'm sure there's something here that just doesn't add up.
Kira, tell us some details, lady. And fix your hair. God, it's...
She's so suspicious. But
It's like a dead animal on her head. I can't take it.
It's the coonskin cap.
It's like a sloth is laying on her head and has wrapped its arms around her.
I'm not a witch. I'm not a witch, nor am I a wandering... Tell us about wandering spirits.
Hold it!
You really don't have any recollection of your old flower-selling self, do you? I don't. When a witch becomes a shade, they lose all memory of their past life.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
They lose their memories? But why? And yet you still have some grasp of the concept of magic, do you not, Witness? Let me spell it out for you. Magic does not exist in the Eldritch Woods. Oh, but there are actually lots of things back in the forest that I have not seen in this town.
Like...
There are
what?
things you haven't seen here. Like really huge machines, that sort of thing. There's one that spits out fire with such amazing speed, and then expels these huge plumes of gray smoke.
Like...
Oh, a machine that spits fire? Never have I heard of such a thing.
Like an oven?
Are you certain that these machines of which you speak are not simply magic?
Or like a car?
You know, now that you mention it... No, she's not as suspicious
Yeah,
enough.
she's sleeping over there.
I don't think any from this town can actually see those of us from the forest. They can't see you? Could it be something like that robe?
How can such a thing even be possible without magic?
Objection.
Layton? Miss Darklaw, if I may interrupt for just a moment. What is it, Inquisitor Layton? Through your testimony just now, we have all come to understand the process of how one becomes a shade. However, I was hoping you could perhaps elaborate on one additional point. Namely, what exactly is the purpose behind the shades? If you wish to know our purpose, there are certain other things you must first understand. I'm very distracting.
Sorry.
Once you've
He is
done that,
distracting me, though.
the
It
answer
makes it
should
hard
be
to
quite
type.
clear. Isn't that right, Defender? The purpose behind the shades? Rest assured you will not get the answer from me. As the saying goes, the witch is in your court, Defender.
Is that a saying? Is that a saying? That's
Are
not
you a
saying.
ball?
That's not a saying.
Are you a ball? The ball's in your court?
Yeah.
Sounds like Darklaw's challenging me to figure this out.
Time to take...
Challenge accepted.
Yeah.
I will try to figure this out. There's but one true purpose for the shades that dwell within an eldritch forest. Okay, so...
Oh, Burger, if you just jumped in from the YouTube vids, then yeah, you're a bit behind right now.
You're a little behind, I'm
We're
sorry.
like 2 hours in. 3 hours. 3 hours in. But it's okay.
That's it for her testimony, I guess. Oh, I didn't press that thing, I guess? What you thinking, Nick? I'm thinking there's something really weird going on with Darklaw. Really? Do tell. I mean, just listen to her testimony. She's more than willing to elaborate on some potentially incriminating information. I see your point. The one really trying to put an end to the story could be Darklaw herself. I guess, but still... Huh? Remember, Nick, we're here to save Espella. So let's squeeze every last bit of information we can out of Darklaw and clear Espella's name.
Let's do it.
You know, you could be onto something. I'd better gather as much information as possible for the time being.
I was gonna say something about
The police are coming for you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was gonna type a thing about the cost, but now I'm not. Instead, I will drink some soda.
Okay.
This mic picks up the sound.
There's an interstate exit nearby, and they pull over people a lot.
Don't speed, and you won't get pulled over.
I think I answered the question before they asked it.
Oh.
Let's see. She assigned us our task. Here's Grey Witch. So I'm not sure what to press or present here, and I kind of want to use a hint coin.
Yeah. Hint coin. Yeah, there's a lot going on. Let's see what we got. Okay.
Let me look back at the first one.
Okay.
So something with the last thing.
Okay.
There's but one purpose for the shades that dwell within the Eldritch Forest.
So what can we present?
It is nothing in the evidence. It's something in the Grand Grimoire.
Ooh. What could it be?
Familia.
I doubt that.
Godor. Fainfall. Grandworm.
I don't. And that's the only thing we have is from here. Then it's probably Grandworm then, because it talks about the fire legend thing.
Did I press this? Let me press this one.
Hold it!
Miss Darklaw, what is the purpose of the shades? As mistress of the shades, I cannot disclose their purpose to their I can't tell you. Well then, since Miss Darklaw is unable to tell us herself, it seems we must rely on evidence instead. Evidence, huh? I do believe the shades could have something to do with that which exists in this town,
oh, the
but
bell
ought not
tower.
to. Something that exists but shouldn't?
Do we have that to present?
Well, Defender, are you prepared to present evidence?
Oh, I am. Yeah, okay. This is what they want. Got it.
Okay.
Ooh, that was confusing.
I was born ready, Your Honor. Something that exists in this town, but shouldn't.
Godor, lol. Yes, we should have presented Godor.
I think I know what you're getting at, Professor.
Defender, please present your evidence.
Yes, Your Honor. The purpose of the shades could be to make sure this particular thing exists in Labyrinthia.
Can you present the grimoire itself?
No. I think I have to present a specific spell.
Oh my god! Is it matter?
Yeah, can I just present any of them and it doesn't matter?
Present Grandworm.
You want me to present Grandworm?
Go for it. Do it. Present
You press
it.
it. I'm not pressing it. You press it. Oh, Amanda pressed it!
Is
Something that doesn't
it's
exist.
this.
I have a feeling no one's gonna like the answer I'm about to give, and it'll probably end up shaking this town to its core.
Just magic, right?
But I've got to tell them, the truth has to come out.
Oh, it's just magic. It's just straight up magic.
There's no such thing as the Tooth Fairy. Since I arrived here in Labyrinthia, there's been no shortage of really strange events. Ignaise, Demir, Godor, Goldor, and now Grandworm.
Oh, man.
The mere command of magic is in itself a crime, is it not? In this town, witches are arrested and made to participate in witch trials. They are then sentenced to death by fire. But none of those witches actually died. That supposed death fire wasn't real.
Death by fire.
And neither is magic. It doesn't exist.
No!
What are you saying, Defender?
Magic is real.
The Eldritch Woods apparently contain some rather large machines, unlike anything that exists within Labyrinthia. Machines that emit fire and produce large plumes of smoke. To top it all off, the citizens of Labyrinthia are not able to see said machines.
It sounds like nothing more than magic.
Yes, that's exactly it, Your Honor. Miss Darklaw, magic doesn't really exist in this town. That's the answer, isn't it?
No.
Magic does not... What utter nonsense!
How, though? How?
Seems that we've finally arrived at the stunning conclusion. The secret behind Labyrinthia.
What's a...
Whoa! What?
But how? How do the...
Order, I say! What is the meaning of this?
How do
It means that all the magic you've seen in this town was nothing more than an illusion created and put into motion by the Shades.
But how?
But Defender, the witches, we've clearly seen them use magic.
Let us take a moment to think carefully about the systems employed by the Shades.
All the potions that they
Systems?
make? Do you think the potions?
What is essential as part of it, I'm sure, in order for a witch to use magic? The witch must possess a Talia Magica and must say an incantation in order to cast a spell. And the spells able to be cast are determined by the scepter's magic gems. Now, what do you think is the purpose of placing such requirements on the use of magic?
What do you mean, purpose?
Judge.
These requirements are not there to allow the user to cast magic. Rather, the reality is they are there to inform the Shades of who should be using magic. It is possible that witches were always being closely observed by Shades. That's why they donned these robes, to appear hidden until they were needed to create magic.
Oh, I forgot about the robes. But how do the robes work?
Create?
What?
Indeed.
Micro machines?
There are all kinds of spells within this tome. It would be quite troublesome if they were simply allowed to use any spell at will. Yeah, it would make the Shade's job that much more difficult for sure. Precisely so. That is why it was imperative that a certain restriction be placed on the use of magic. Ah, you're referring to the Talia Magica, right, Professor?
I don't understand.
Of course. No wonder the scepter could contain only 2 magic gems.
Then there's the incantation. What would happen if a witch could simply whisper the incantation quietly to herself, or not even say it at all?
Oh my god.
Boy, that'd be so cool. I'd be casting spells all day long, and no one would ever see it coming.
Labyrinthia is like Big Brother with witches.
Maya, we spent an entire trial proving that you weren't a witch. Remember, please don't make yourself a witch again. If the witches didn't give some sort of signal, then there would be no way for the Shades to know when to cast the spell. Right you are, Mr. Wright. The incantations were a way of telling the Shades when the witch was ready to use magic.
What on earth? Never did I think these requirements could have such a purpose.
I'm so baffled.
Now, let's think back to the previous events leading up to today that have involved magic.
Sure would like that.
Our first encounter with magic was the use of the spell Ignaze a few nights ago. A spell like this was nothing more than a flame spewed from a machine being used by the Shades.
A flamethrower, in fact.
Then that means Demir.
A spell that makes the caster disappear, no doubt about it. It must have been this robe. Next, the incident with Goldor, the spell that transmuted me into a gold statue.
Yeah, how did they do that one?
While I understand this may sound a bit absurd, I can only surmise that the Shades created a gold statue in my image, took me, and left it in my place the instant the incantation was uttered.
I don't know about that one, though. Is that...
Okay, alright.
Why?
Professor, it's no more absurd than anything else that's happened so far.
That?
We'll just hand wave that. Okay, fine,
get
whatever.
it.
We can therefore conclude that all of the magic in Labyrinthia was created in a similar vein.
Sure it is. Uh-huh.
What do you say to that, Miss Darklaw?
She ain't got no comment.
I'd expect nothing less from you, Inquisitor Layton.
She wants to go on a date with him real bad now.
At any given time, there were between 5 and 10 witches in town. All of the witches were accompanied by Shades at all times. It was easier than you would think, you see. The Shades living in the Eldritch Woods total in the hundreds. It was simply a matter of having each of the Shades operate in shifts in order to watch over each of the witches within the town. I must say, Lady Darklaw, that is quite a number of
I must say, Lady Darklaw, that's quite a number of shades.
Are they like... Oh, God.
'Twas not only those who fell victim to these flames that were turned into
crazy
Shades, but their victims, too, were made permanent residents of the Eldritch Woods. Then, those two shady thieves from before were turned into Shades?
Oh, they didn't even die?
Ah, yes, you mean Robs and Muggs. Despite their dubious appearance, those two were a couple of my best Shades. Shady thieves turned into Shades. The stuff writes itself.
I don't know.
I cannot believe what I have heard.
However, there is still one thing I do not understand just yet. And what would that be? As has just been explained, we have established there was no possibility of magic being real. Replacing me with a gold statue to give the illusion of transmutation, for example. While it sounds simple enough,
It does not sound simple.
I myself, and presumably also Miss Fey, have no recollection of this replacement actually taking place. Hey, that's right. The professor got all bling-blingy before I could even bat an eye. It begs the question, how and when was the statue created, let alone used to replace me?
That is true.
The same thing goes for Godor. It's supposed to create a portal between two green-colored walls. Perhaps this is exactly why the spell can only work on green walls, Mr. Wright. Still, it'd be impossible for the Shades to get those portals ready so quickly. I agree. If we take a moment to think, we can see that all of these spells have one strange thing in common. A thing in common? Yes, indeed. Almost as if some time between the start and the end of the instant was unaccounted for. Furthermore, any memory I might have had regarding the incident seems to have simply disappeared in the process. Can they stop time? Are these clock stoppers?
Clock stoppers?
It's a movie that none of you will know.
No, it's fine. Is that the name of it, though?
It's a bad movie.
It's an awful name.
It's just like what happened to Kira. She's absolutely no memory of her life in Labyrinthia before the trial, right? Yes, I do not remember this Kira you speak of. Or do they have a Men in Black, like, flashy thingy? And oh yeah, when you really think about it, doesn't it seem super weird how the Shades are able to return to town if they complete their tasks? You're right, Maya. I mean, the townsfolk are bound to remember some things about them, right? Like how Miss Kira here threw a major hissy fit in court and was barbecued for being a witch. Eloquently put, Mr. Wright. Hence, we cannot yet conclude that this entire illusion was primarily accomplished through the use of machinery. Simply put, there must have been some way of affecting the memories of all those within the confines of this town. Missing time and lost memories? Now that is interesting, Inquisitor. You are correct. There is, in fact, a secret that lies within the depths of the Eldritch folks. Something that the people of this town cannot see. Something that can rob people of their time and memories.
It's drugs. It's just drugs.
'Tis the very thing that connects all of what you have heard tonight. 'Tis a secret of monumental proportions.
It's
a literal mountain
drugs.
of crystal meth that
Just
you've
lots
all
of
been
drugs.
ingesting whether you want
Yeah.
to or not.
Yeah, it's in the water. You can't.
And let me guess. 'Tis a secret that cannot be revealed by the mistress of the Eldritch Woods, is that right? Yes, an excellent deduction, Defender.
This is why you should not do drugs, guys. Someone might take your body
Come on,
and turn
kids.
it into gold and replace you, and then you won't be able to explain.
That's what happens. That's how it happened to me.
Yeah, it did.